Hi, it's me, Frank Sinatra. I sound like this, baby. That's how you know it's me, Frank Sinatra. I end my sentences with baby. Hi, everybody.
Hey, I'm I'm Dean Martin. I'm just an Italian guy.
I'm Dean Martin. I sound like Yogi Bear for
I,
some reason in this movie. Hey, it's me, Dean Martin. I sound like Yogi Bear. He's
I-
doing. I don't know
Dean
why
Martin
that's
just
what.
sounds like Fat Tony from The Simpsons. Like
Well,
that's the only voice Joe Mantegna could do.
yes, yeah. That's his. That's the mode he's in. We're just getting right into it. No,
Sure. I mean
we'll
this was our intro.
yes,
Just making fun of these actors, even though they're actually okay. Like they're
yeah, I think there's a handful of really good performances in this to start things out, just like right into it. Hi, everybody. Televised, the TV movie story here with another episode of the show that is. We're talking about the Rat Pack, baby.
the Rat
Uh,
Pack baby. Bam, bam,
ba- da
bam.
da da dun dun da 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 Rat Pack. Hi,
Anyway,
everyone. It's
why are we
it's
so, but we'll need to pad this episode out because I do not have much to say.
Oh, I did take a lot of notes actually. I do have a good deal of things to bring up. We get to talk about the Emmys, there's a bunch of Emmy stuff here. We get to talk about all sorts of things, all sorts of real life and movie related stuff, but
Just perhaps a little bit of a game.
perhaps a little bit of a game. But yes, this was my priority list, right? This was on mine
Yes.
as the month has. I don't think we talked about really with the previous two why they were on our priority list. Did we? I don't
I,
know. We
let
may
me
have
think.
touched on it
We
briefly.
we definitely touched on it. Like you had said like why you wanted to do Second Civil War. I had said why I wanted to do Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Right, yeah, I guess so. I guess we
Like
did.
it wasn't a big like structured thing, but it was made clear at the very least.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, I feel like it kind of speaks for itself conceptually. Like I'm not like a huge like Rat Pack aficionado, like historian or anything, but
Mhm.
I think they're all fascinating. I think Frank Sinatra is a fascinating figure in 21st century American society. I think Dean Martin is in modern terms sort of underrated as a performer. I think he sort of gets watered down to like
That's
second.
Amore.
Yeah, and like Martin and Lewis, he was a comedian. He's not quite even as highbrow as Frank Sinatra even, but I do think he's a very talented singer and performer. Sammy Davis, likewise, an incredible talent that we don't talk about
Absolutely.
nearly enough. But one of the great American entertainers of all time.
Hmm.
And the best part of the movie, also, I will say, Don Cheadle, by
Absolutely.
far the best part.
100%.
And I'm sure we'll talk a lot about him. That's most of what I have to say. Most of the praise I have for this movie is about Don Cheadle specifically, because I think he really nails it here. But yeah, I mean, like I have an interest in this. I mean, I feel like the movie doesn't get nearly as into their careers. You would want a movie called The Rat Pack to be more about them as the Rat Pack, right?
Yeah,
But
like it doesn't get into how they come together. It just starts with them all being besties, and then it's about, the it's more about John F. Kennedy than it is about the
it's
Rat Pack.
a lot about John F. Kennedy. There's I don't think Dean Martin I think Dean Martin has maybe two scenes in this movie that aren't with any of the other Rat Pack. Like it's the scene at the very beginning where he's at the casino, and then a scene where he's having dinner with somebody. I think like he gets relegated very quickly to just like one of the guys, and there's nothing really with him. Yeah, it's an odd movie. I think it has ambition. Certainly, I think it is tackling a lot. Whether or not that all works, I'm sure we'll talk about here. But it's you know, so far this month has been not disappointing, but I think the
Hmm.
three movies we've covered so far have been underwhelming compared to the potential.
Yeah,
And this, I think the highs of this movie are probably about on par with the highs of say Second Civil War. I do think Mrs. Eris Goes to Paris is probably better than both of them, but doesn't quite achieve the highs of either of them, but also doesn't
I,
achieve the lows. I don't know. We don't need to be getting into this right away.
I,
We don't need to be
I,
litigating that
I'm just
so
gonna
early
say I
on.
agree, and it's just like it was funny, like how excited we were going into this month, and then it's like, oh, 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 okay,
Yeah. I
sure.
mean, I do think, not to jinx it, but I do think the next two are going to be a lot more. They're at least going to have more to offer. I think 12
Well,
Angry Men, I've heard enough praise of that I think that has the opportunity to be very good. And then Mesas and Monsters is going to be the fun, crazy thing that we're expecting.
my prediction is first, 12 Angry Men is probably going to be the best of the four. Like I think,
With
like
that cast, with William Friedkin, it would not surprise me.
and just being 12 Angry Men, like
Yes.
with that script alone, you're gonna get a at least a decent movie, and especially with that cast,
Yeah.
that's gonna be an easy, at least a double, if not a triple. But
With,
if
by the way, an accidental carryover cast member from this movie,
with cast member,
William Peterson, of all people.
oh, okay,
He's,
sure,
I think he's juror 12 in that.
okay. And then, but Mazes and Monsters, I am so scared for because it, I don't know if it's going to be like the fun bad movie or the bad movie or the secretly good in a fun way movie. And it's just like, I have no idea what to expect from it because it's just Tom Hanks starring in not Dungeons and Dragons. And it's
We'll
like,
find out,
it
but
could be Red Shoes Diaries. It could be Net Force. It could be Queer Duck the movie. It could be Liz and Dick. I don't know. It could be Langoliers.
who's to say? We'll find out in a couple weeks. But before all that, a movie that, like, I do have things to say about. We're not totally vamping for time on this one, but it leaves you wanting at the end of the day. The Rat Pack from 1998, directed by Rob Cohen, written by Carrie O'Salem, starring Ray Liotta, Joe Mantegna, Don Cheadle, Angus McFadden, Bobby Slayton, William Peterson, Zelko Ivanek, Dan O'Herlihy, Deborah Kara Unger, John Deal, Megan Dodds, Veronica Cartwright, and Barbara Niven. Premiered August 22nd, 1998 on HBO. Uh, uh, what am I trying to say? I guess just playing opposite. What's the word I'm trying to think of? I
Just,
don't know.
yeah, it's just like
Uh,
things showing at the same time, you know?
show yeah, the other programs that you could watch at the same time as this on ABC
Simultaneous.
yeah, broadcast I think is the word I'm thinking of. The other broadcast things being broadcast at the time on ABC. It was a repeat of a TV movie from 1996, The Man Next Door, where Michael Onkeen plays a paroled serial rapist that moves into a neighborhood, and it's about everyone like finding out about that. On CBS, you had an episode of The Magnificent Seven, the series, followed by an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. On Fox, you had America's Most Wanted. And on NBC, you had another repeat of a previous TV movie, Serving in Silence, the Marguerite Kammermeyer story. The Glenn Close is a lesbian who gets discharged from her military service for coming out, and talks about that.
Yes.
Uh,
I want to
which
do that one
I,
eventually.
I I'm sure we will. I'm sure that one will be. Seems like an interesting one. But yeah, that was if you didn't have HBO, that's what you could have been watching on this Saturday night in August. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
movie. That's the rundown. That's the deets. And uh,
Where to
I was
begin?
yeah. I feel like we should start with Ray Liotta because how do you feel about Ray Liotta's performance in this?
So there's scenes where he gives a good performance, but not once do I ever believe him as Frank Sinatra. I
Yeah,
just see him as Ray Liotta.
it's and like when you're doing a biopic, you don't always have to fall into the trap of, well, if the actor doesn't look or sound like the person, that's it's not just that. It's not just that he doesn't look or sound particularly like Frank Sinatra. That's a hindrance because it's one thing if you're doing like The Social Network and Jesse Eisenberg doesn't really look or sound like Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is not an especially like public figure to the same degree that Frank Sinatra, someone who is so public facing as a face and a voice for his whole, like, that's the career, that's what you're going off of, is the face and the voice. And for Leota to not look or sound at all like him is a stumbling block, but that isn't inherently the problem. He just doesn't carry himself like Frank Sinatra, especially
Hmm.
like the Frank Sinatra that this movie is trying to put forward. It, it's sort of digging at some of his insecurities and his uh, uh, sort of pettiness, but like by and large, this is a pretty kind portrayal of Frank Sinatra. This is a pretty
Hmm.
lionizing depiction, and I think Leota just, he's just miscast. It
Definitely.
is the thing. It's not his fault. One of the IMDb things that I think is actually a really interesting like way to approach it is alongside watching, obviously clips and old movies and things of Sinatra. The other thing that he used as preparation was he watched Nixon, the Oliver
Hmm.
Stone movie, because Anthony Hopkins doesn't particularly look or sound like Richard Nixon, but was able to accurately portray him in a way that like worked, and that was sort of what he was using as a basis of like, how can I evoke somebody that I'm not particularly all that similar to. And I think that's a noble approach to it. You can tell he's definitely trying. It's just the movie is not doing him any favors, especially when you have him up against Joe Mantegna, who looks a lot like Dean Martin, and Don Cheadle, who acts a lot like Sammy Davis, and then you have Ray Liotta just being Ray Liotta. It doesn't quite connect, unfortunately.
That is fucking insane that he watched Nixon
Right?
to try and like learn how to do that. One, because I think Anthony Hopkins in Nixon is one of the worst performances I've seen. Um, but also just like it just feels so weird to try and let like God, I don't get it. But also it's like the main problem with like as you said, it's like the main problem with him is mainly just how he can't carry himself like Sinatra, how he does not have the Sinatra charm or anything to like make up for the fact that he doesn't look or sound like him. It's just he's just Ray Liotta and he's playing these scenes as Ray Liotta, but he's just saying he's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. I mean, I started the episode saying, like, oh, this is my Frank Sinatra impression, baby. And that's not too far off. It's, I just, at no point do I feel like I'm watching Frank Sinatra. At no point can I ignore the fact that this is just Ray Liotta. This is Ray Liotta in a bad wig,
Very bad.
being
I I
Ray
almost
Liotta.
considered putting him down for worst hair and makeup for the Dennehy's.
Oh right, I forgot that was it. I mean, I might still. It's pretty egregious, but
I I think the bit we have for it right now is fine as though, or the bit I have at least.
fair.
Anyway, I won't say any more about that.
Yes. Yeah. No, Leota, I think, and he's an actor I really love. I've been on a real Leota kick recently. I watched Goodfellas in the theater for the first time a while ago, a couple weeks ago, and that was great to see on the big screen.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, Last week I watched Identity with a friend, which is not good, but it's a real watchable, fun time. And Leota is really hamming it up there. And I've just been in a real Leota mood for the past month or so. And I wish I liked him better in this. I wish the material was there more, but Frank is just so uninteresting in this movie
Hmm.
as well. Like it's not just that like Leota is miscast. It's also that his stuff is like the most boring parts of the movie. I really, every time it cuts back to Frank, I just really don't care. And part of that is because I can't get invested in it as being Frank Sinatra. Like the remove is so far gone that I'm just not able to connect with it. But it's not compelling
Yeah,
ultimately.
absolutely. Like I was losing by like 30 minutes into this movie, I had lost interest in most of the movie just because it felt like it wasn't doing anything. It was
It's not the
just
movie I wanted it to be.
it was just it it's just a movie that wants to recreate things that happened and cares less about like actually telling a story with it. It's like it's just going through the Kennedy campaign, and then we go through the like like wanting to be friends with John F. Kennedy and then inviting John F. Kennedy to your house, and then it's like then we get some actually interesting stuff with like Sammy Davis and everything. But then it's like then we're just brought back to here to just kind of wade through historical events, and it's just like
Yeah.
I don't like, and it's like eventually we get to the ending where it's like the big blow up against Peter Lawford and they all fall out, and it's or not all of them, but he falls out with Peter Lawford, and it's like okay, this was what this whole movie was building to, but it's like we didn't set this up as something that I want to care about. It's like you don't care about the Rat Pack staying together, really. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Much. Oh, sorry.
it's just it's a movie that's made for people who already care about the Rat Pack. It's not made to get you to care about them. It's just like, hey, don't you want to see some actors try to play your favorite people and do things that they did? It's like
Y-
it's just a standard biopic.
Yeah. And I like, I don't not care about the Rat Pack. I had an ex who was very into the Rat Pack, and so I still have some like tangential like, oh yeah, I like, I like their music. I like their movies that I've seen. We were talking about this. I haven't really seen any like Rat Pack movies. I haven't seen the original Ocean's 11 or Robin and the Seven Hoods or Some Came Running or anything.
Hmm.
But I've seen Frank in some movies. I've seen Dean in some movies. I've seen
Wait, you
uh
haven't seen Some Came Running yet?
I haven't. No.
Damn. I
Yeah.
thought you were getting on those Oscar nominated performances.
Yeah, but there's a lot of those.
And
There's quite a good deal of those over the
I've seen
years.
them. Why can't you?
I'm working on it. Excuse you. Um,
I'm just messing with you.
I know. I know. But yeah, I mean, like, I think I'm interested. Like I said, I'm interested in them all as individual performers. But the movie doesn't offer you anything beyond that for the most part. It gives you a lot of surface level stuff about Frank and Ava and Frank and the Kennedys, and it doesn't really go any further with that. Like I said, there's really nothing with Dean at all. Like
Hmm.
the most interesting thing about Dean Martin's career happens in a newspaper headline that flashes across the screen at the very beginning. All the stuff with him and Jerry, like breaking up. Like
Hmm.
Jerry Lewis is not a character in this movie. There's no even cameo from whoever playing Jerry Lewis. Like he
Well,
is not in this movie. And
but if only there was somehow a TV movie that was about Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis that we could some at some point cover on this show.
I don't know
What
which one you're talking about specifically. Who do we have in that
there
cast?
there is a Martin and Lewis movie. It has Sean Hayes as Jerry Lewis, and I don't know who plays Dean Martin.
Oh, okay. I can see Sean Hayes as Jerry Lewis. I can see that working. That seems interesting.
Um,
Um, wouldn't it be funny if it was still Joe Mantegna?
I wish. Jeremy Northern or
Oh,
Northam.
yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah,
That seems like something. But like,
yeah.
I mean,
I used to have it on my priority list, but I took it
yeah,
off because I watched clips and it didn't seem too good. But we can still
fair.
do it at some point. You can put it on
Maybe
your list if you want.
maybe a bit down the line after this. I think we can space
Definitely,
that out.
definitely.
Um, I mean, again, the all of the best parts of this movie are the Sammy Davis stuff. Like this should have just been a Sammy Davis biopic. This this should
Absolutely.
have like, you can have Frank in the background, you can have Dean in the background as ancillary characters. All of the interesting parts of this movie, including one especially audacious scene in the middle that like really worked for me.
Of course, I
And
know what you're talking
I
about.
I wanted the movie to go more in that direction, and I think if this was just a Sammy Davis movie with Don Cheadle, that would have been a much more interesting movie because this movie has so much it's trying to, much like Second Civil War, it's spread very thin with all of its ideas, all of its things it wants to be about. It wants to be about Frank and Ava, and it wants to be about Frank and the mob, and Frank and the Kennedys, and Frank and Peter Lawford, and Sammy Davis and the rest of the Rat Pack, and Sammy Davis and the American media, and Sammy Davis and being black and Jewish and marrying a white woman. And it wants to be about so many things. It doesn't want to be about Dean Martin, but it's 2 hours long, and it just doesn't have the time or really the strength of writing to really be about any of that in a meaningful way. And so you're just left with some interesting lingering thoughts and lingering scenes, but it doesn't come together as a movie about the Rat Pack.
It I agree with absolutely everything. Like Sammy Davis is we've mentioned this like 5 times already, but Don Cheadle as Sammy Davis is truly the most interesting part of this movie. And multiple times I was just wishing, God, why can't it just be him? It's like you have this 2 hour space, you try to overfill it, but it's like just if it was just a Sammy Davis movie, you would have the exact amount of time that you need to properly tell a story about him, but you just want to cram it. You're just cramming everything in here for
Yeah.
no reason.
There's who's supposed to be in this new Sammy Davis biopic, right? There's one that was announced not
Oh,
too long ago. Let me look this up. Um, oh, David Johnson, right, from Alien, the
oh,
new one.
okay. Yeah.
And Sydney Sweeney as Kim Novak.
Coleman
Oh, yeah,
Domingo is
directed by
directing
Coleman
it.
Domingo. Okay. See, now this, oh, this is a Miramax production.
Ooh,
Okay. I
okay.
guess, I mean, obviously, not that Miramax,
Yeah.
but whatever the current version of that is. But okay. Yeah, this could be something. This, I mean, I would be very curious to see Coleman Domingo's directorial style. He's, one of our great working actors currently, and I'd like to see how that translates to directing. But yeah,
Hmm.
that could be something. It feels kind of wild that there's has never been a specifically Sammy Davis Jr. biopic to this day. That that's a missed opportunity, and I'm excited for that new one. Also,
Yeah.
speaking of, do we think we are ever going to get the Martin Scorsese Sinatra biopic with DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence as Frank and Ava? Is that actually happening?
Scorsese says he's gonna make a lot of movies that he's not gonna make.
Yeah, that'll be up there with the H. Holmes and the another Jesus movie, and who knows?
I thought the Jesus movie was actually happening. Like I
I
thought
mean, a
there was
lot
like
of these you
production
think are
stuff.
actually happening, but maybe it is. Maybe I am not up to date on that, but perhaps it is. But I think DiCaprio, equally to Ray Liotta, bad casting for Frank Sinatra.
I think at the like I maybe this is a hot take, but I don't think Ray Liotta is all that good of an actor. And DiCaprio could at least fake it more. Like I
Yeah.
think he could emulate him a lot better than Ray Liotta does.
I mean, DiCaprio is, yeah, we're not, saying anything scandalous by saying he's a better actor than Ray Liotta. I like Liotta as a presence. I think he's great in Goodfellas. I think he's great in Something Wild. I think he had the capacity for really good performances, but he also, did a lot of shit. He did a lot of shitty movies in his career, and I don't think this is a shitty movie. I don't think this is a bad movie. I think it's an underwhelming movie, but I do think that yeah, he's a bad fit for this. I don't think he's good in this, but I don't think that's his fault. But I just think DiCaprio, like, again, to contradict myself, actually, doesn't look or sound like Frank, and is just, I don't think the mannerisms are there. I I don't know if he has, well,
I I think
maybe like
DiCaprio
Wolf
has the
of Wall Street
chops.
type. I think he could. he could do something interesting. He's certainly more interesting than Leota. But it's I'll believe it when I see it.
I think DiCaprio is good enough of an actor where he can definitely like get the voice. He can get a bit of makeup to get the look down, or at least close enough to where it's like you can get fooled into thinking it. And it's just like I think it could be done, and especially with somebody like Scorsese as the
Yeah,
director, like it could be really great.
yeah. I think part of also why I'm doubting it is like the DiCaprio movies in the past decade have been uh Revenant, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Don't Look Up, Killers of the Flower Moon. None of the like those are, Revenant aside, three very sort of nervous, twitchy performances, and also
Hmm
with the trailer for One Battle After Another, like he is very much in the
He's in
last
his
decade.
nervous and twitchy era.
He's doing like weirdos lately, and I've settled into that as like my view of current DiCaprio, that it's I forget like Wolf of Wall Street, Great Gatsby are absolutely precursors to lead into a Sinatra. Like, okay, I can see it working. I think I'm just so caught up in the Rick Daltons and the whatever his name is and Don't Look Up of sort of
I'm
more
oh,
modern DiCaprio.
I am curious though, like if Scorsese made that Frank Sinatra movie, when would he be playing Frank Sinatra?
Well,
Like it's definitely not going to be like young Sinatra, not like the
the
skinny boy.
yeah, the casting thing from last year did say Jennifer Lawrence as Ava Gardner, so it would probably be around this same era,
Okay.
or maybe a bit earlier, because at this point that we see them in the Rat Pack, they've already been married and divorced, right?
Yeah. So it
So
would be like at least early 50s.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, DiCaprio is 50 now, so
Yeah,
but also he still looks young
I if I if if this movie
ish.
were to happen, it's like I wouldn't want it to be like this era Frank Sinatra. I want to see Leonardo DiCaprio as fat and old Frank
Yeah,
Sinatra.
yeah. I don't know if there's as much like story you can wring out of that, because it's just a lot of nightclubs and uh like the most interesting stuff out of that is what he isn't doing, which is, making amends with Dean and Sammy and Lawford and all that. Like that's what's interesting about that era of his career, is him still holding all these grudges all these years later and not, making amends. But I don't know.
hmm
That's not the Rat Pack. That's not this movie, The Rat Pack. What is this movie, The Rat Pack?
Yeah, God, we're already getting on long tangents.
It happens. Again, this movie, all kind of similarly, all of what's interesting about this movie in talking about it is the stuff it doesn't do for the most part.
hmm
Or at least what's worth talking about is the stuff it doesn't do. Uh, or the stuff it does stupidly. Like, we're doing stupid slut Marilyn. That's the version of the movie that it puts out there. Like, oh, am I still married to you? I thought I married that playwright who did Death of a Mailman. Like, get it? Get it? She was a dumb blonde. Like that is very much how the movie presents her in her one scene, and then has a lot of people just talking about how great of a lay she is
hmm
elsewhere. And that's, you know,
Yeah.
that's the perspective the movie has, and it's stupid.
And
Uh
there's also one of the lines I wrote down was, "She looks like Elizabeth Taylor, only better. You don't have to marry her to sleep with her."
which Frank says a couple different times to different people about what whoever that woman was. Like he's very proud of that joke. I do think the few times you see the Rat Pack all performing together, like when they do the like comedy shtick before one of the
Yes.
performances on stage, they nail it there. I think all four of them, because this movie doesn't remember that Peter Bishop exists for the
Joey
most
Bishop.
part. Joey Bishop. See, I don't even remember.
Peter Lawford and
Peter
Joey
Lawford,
Bishop.
Joey
They're
Bishop.
the
Right.
forgettable ones.
Yes. Although I do think Angus McFadden is very good here
Oh
as Peter
yes.
Lawford. I think,
Especially in that final scene.
yeah, I think the three best performances in the movie are Cheadle, McFadden, and Zelko Ivanek as Bobby Kennedy.
Sure.
I think he looks and sounds the part, and not to just harp on that as what makes a good performance, but in a way that like he's committed. He really sells the scene where he's trying to get John to like go after the mob. I really liked him in this. I was wanting for a more similar to how I wished this movie was about Sammy. I wished that there was a Bobby Kennedy movie with Zelko Ivanek because I think he would have been better suited for a movie that is more about that character.
Hmm.
But the scenes of the four of them, 4.5 if Joey Bishop is remembered to be in the movie. When they're doing their comedy routines before, or when they're doing the whole uh, 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 Kennedy election campaign
Yeah.
song number, like they have it down there. I mean, none of them are singing. It's all dubbed over with other voice with other singers doing the voices. But like they have the patter, they have the sort of swagger to it. I think Cheadle especially really sells the uh, uh just the showmanship of
Yes.
Sammy. I like one of the things that I was glad the movie got into is every time there's a joke at his expense, the way he does the big exaggerated laugh, the lean back, the like take a few steps away, which then goes into the whole scene with him and Mai about like, they're making jokes at your expense. They're not
Yeah.
laughing with you, they're laughing at you. And he's like, well, I kind of have to take it for the sake of, furthering uh, exposure and career and, acceptance. Like, if I put a foot down now, that is worse for future generations of Black performers that hopefully won't have to put up with that. And I thought that was something that I was
Yeah.
bracing for the movie to not touch on, and I was glad it did. But I liked those scenes more. Again, I wanted this movie to be more about the Rat Pack performing as the Rat Pack because it's called the Rat Pack.
Yeah. Exactly. Although from one of those performance scenes, I have written down one joke. Uh, so you have Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin over at the table, just like I don't know what they're doing at the table. It's like they're pretending to eat or whatever. And they say, "Have you ever seen a jujitsu?" And Sammy Davis runs out. And it's just like, "Whoa, whoa, that's not fair. How would you like it if I said, "Have you ever seen a wopsicle?" And they get offended too. It's a great little joke.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, and again, they sell that in the same way that they really did. Because like I've heard that routine, that whole like slew of jokes, or some version of it on some recording, and they get it down. Like that is the patter of them, of the sort of playful, a little bit cheeky, singing and joking and laughing, and just sort of palling around with a little bit of edge to it. Like that's how they do it. That's how they
Hmm.
did it in real life, and it it felt like it did sort of feel like you're watching them, the real guys. And I don't know, maybe I'm just at this point like, hey, I recognize that from real life. That's what I like. I like it when they're like the real people.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I do like those scenes. I think that's and okay. Can we talk about the best scene of the movie, which
I,
is
I was just about to say, I think it's time we talk about the "I've got you under my skin" sequence.
which on paper because I was describing it to someone as it happened. I was texting someone like, "Oh my god, this movie is doing this," and putting it on paper, describing it just in words sounds bonkers and
It,
sounds really like collar pull. But they pull it off somehow. Somehow they managed to make it a really effective, compelling scene given the context. So the context is uh, Sammy and Mai have gone public with the fact that they're getting married, and at this point, interracial marriage was only legal in like 17 states, I think, or something like not a
mhm.
ton. And so he's up in his dressing room while there's this big protest outside his wherever the hotel or whatever is, And there's, people in full Nazi uniform, and there's Klansmen, and there's just general run of the mill Southern racists, and there's a burning cross and everything. And he's understandably antsy about it. But he ends up having this fantasy sequence where he goes down to the doorway and is like, I'm going to put on a show for them. And he pulls out the gun that he has for his gun twirling routine. And then it becomes a microphone. And he does, I've got you under my skin. The crowd sort of freezes and he does it sort of in their midst. And then he's tap dancing on the top of a cop car while behind him is a giant neon sign that says the N word and has like a Star of David right above it. And there's like a good handful of shots of him singing and dancing right in front of that. And it sounds like the most misguided thing of one using I've got you under my skin, which feels like too pointed a song to do. And yet, because Don Cheadle is such just a wonderful, incredible actor who really nails it, the timing and the patter of being Sammy and all of the emotions he's feeling in it, and it's just remarkably well directed and well executed for a movie that is otherwise completely anonymous. Really feels TV movie parentheses pejorative otherwise, like no flair, no distinct style, other than this one fantasy musical sequence that manages to pull off an impossible task with that sort of obvious hitting you over the head iconography. And it just works.
And don't forget how it ends with him like after he finishes the song, he's like shooting the gun and they all like kind of blow away and like the flaming cross just kind of flies away.
Yeah, it's remarkable how well they pulled off that scene. Again, if this was just a Sammy Davis Jr. movie, that would be like the big set piece. And with the movie it is, you have that, and then it cuts back to Sammy up in the dressing room, still pondering, and then he calls Frank and is like, oh, I'm postponing the wedding. And then he's gone from the rest of the movie. That's like with 30, 40 minutes to go. That is the last time you see Sammy Davis Jr. outside of the sad montage at the end of One More for the Road.
Well, he's in the last scene though.
Well, wait, which one?
Like with Peter Lawford, like when Frank fights with Peter Lawford, he's there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Where? What does he do? Is
he's comforting Peter Lawford after Frank Sinatra's mean to him.
I don't remember that at all. I mean, I believe you, but I just
but still, it is a long section without him after that.
It's effectively the end of Sammy Davis in this movie. We don't. I think you see the wedding, so you do have that after you have, them stepping on the glass, and you see that Frank is there. But I mean, Sammy doesn't say anything in those scenes. Cheadle is just sort of that. Like that is a scene that is more meant to be about Frank than it is about Sammy. And then he's gone, and it's just again and then the rest of the movie is about Kennedy got elected, and now Bobby is fucking them with the mafia stuff, and Frank gets really upset about the fact that Kennedy is not allowed to stay at the house he's building for him, and he's got to go stay with Bing Crosby, which, I mean, it is an interesting that is an interesting story it's an interesting section of the story of the Rat Pack. Like, I don't think Frank ever spoke to Peter Lawford after that. Like that was it for the two of them. Like he got him kicked out of Robin and the Seven Hoods and recast, ironically enough, I think with Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
Because of that. But like, yeah, it's just a weird note to be the big climax ending of your Rat Pack story. It just sort of, it feels like a weird note to end on.
Yeah, it it makes sense if this was more of a Rat Pack movie. Like
Yes.
it for an like if this had like I said earlier, it's like it doesn't show the formation of the Rat Pack or anything. It's just like this is just a group of guys that have been friends for a long time and they've been performing together. They're already the Rat Pack when the movie begins. And then
Yeah.
it's just like then we just kind of see a few scenes and then they fall apart. And it's just like this feels like the second episode of a two-part miniseries.
It really does. Because you get your requisite, like, here's a shot of them filming the Ocean's 11 scene where they all put their hands in. Here's a shot. Here's like them talking about Robin and the Seven Hoods. Here's little references to like, hey, remember they're the Rat Pack somewhere else in this movie. But like, it's not it's so much of this movie is about John F. Kennedy. So much of this movie is about the Kennedys, and it's a real unforced error because that's a part of the story, but that's not the story. And I don't know why, in making this movie, that is the angle they chose because it undercuts the importance of the rest of the members of the Rat Pack. It makes it really just a. And if this was a Frank movie, just make it a Frank Sinatra movie. Like it it's too overstuffed with a lot of topics. And again, I keep saying this, never has the structure to really support any one of them.
Exactly.
What
Just
else do I have notes about?
um
Angus McFadden, if he never played Richard Burton in something, that's a real missed opportunity. Because I know he really felt it. It really felt and looked again. Not to I keep just falling back on the well. He looks like Richard Burton, so he should play Richard Burton. But I mean, he that sort of feels, and because they keep making Elizabeth Taylor jokes, like
hey,
I couldn't not notice it.
hey Gordon, guess what? In Lizzie Elizabeth Taylor's story, 1995, Angus McFadden plays Richard Burton
I googled uh, Angus McFadden and Richard Burton, and nothing came up like an
alongside
hour
Sherilyn
ago.
Fenn.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, so he did. Well, I
You
was
got your
wrong.
wish
Yay.
30 years ago.
And we'll get to talk about it at some point on this show,
Hopefully.
probably. Uh,
Maybe. Actually, yeah, well, I
at
think
some
that's one
point.
of the movies we planned for that month. But anyway,
Oh, right. Yeah, that's
though I
plausible.
don't totally remember exactly.
Uh,
Anyway, also apparent I didn't really know who Angus McFadden was. I just saw him in this. It's like, oh, that's an actor, but he's in things, and apparently he's slow ass motherfucking Jeff from the Saw movies.
so he is. No, he's in a bunch of things. But now, what do I know him from? Because now it's not a like.
Braveheart,
Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Is he in
Equilibrium, Titus, We
something
Bought a
on TV?
Zoo.
Maybe
Is he
I
in
don't know.
Lost somewhere?
He's not. Um,
Are you just a
okay.
big Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 fan?
Oh, that's obvious. No. No, I don't know. Maybe I don't have one specific thing that I'm thinking of. I just sort of know of him. Uh, oh, you know what? I think it is not a movie I've seen, but a still or like a section I've seen. He's the like Orson Welles in Cradle Will Rock.
Oh, I really need to watch that movie.
Oh, he's also in Titus. Okay. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. He's Lucius in Titus.
All right.
Titus rules. Have you seen
I have seen Titus. I've seen all of Julie Taymor movies.
Titus fucking rules?
It's a good movie. It's a bit too weird at times, but
Yeah,
it's a
but
sight to behold.
yes, no, I dig it for being all that. Um, what other notes? Choreography by Savion Glover, very cool. Frank Sinatra's got to think about his whole life before he plays a show. It is quite literally the walk hard thing.
I
With this, it's uncanny. I mean, not uncanny because obviously that was pulling from a lot of things, but like it's so funny in retrospect watching any of those pre-walk hard music biopics. They all do it.
it feels almost, but also it's like post Walk Hard, it feels like more of them do it.
Yeah,
Like with something like A Complete Unknown and Elvis, or seems like beat for beat Walk Hard copy pastes. But it's just like, God, what a prescient movie.
truly.
Well, not prescient, but because he was parroting things that already existed, but still.
I also like one other note I have other than the Emmy stuff I wrote down. Not the ending fight between Frank and Peter, but there's another confrontation between them a little bit before that, where Lawford has a line I really liked. I just want to act Frank and cheat on my wife. Is that too much to ask?
Good line, good line.
Is good. Is good. Again, Angus McFadden, pretty good in this movie.
Mhm.
Pretty solid. Uh, if you're giving this movie a second Emmy nomination for supporting actor alongside Cheadle, he should have been the one.
Mhm. And Mantegna got it in real life, correct?
Yes, yeah. So let me run down the Emmy nominations this
One
got,
one
and
quick
three
thing.
wins, by the
One
way.
quick thing. I just want to get rid of all of my notes.
Oh yeah,
Two things. One, I hate how this movie looks. It's so ugly throughout. And then
it
two,
doesn't help that the only version that I could find is a really low quality YouTube upload.
yeah, it's like it was very like jittery too. It's like felt like
Oh
it had
yeah,
frames missing.
yeah.
Anyway, second
To the
note.
point, by the way, that there's a sex scene in the middle, or not sex scene. There's like a montage, a sex montage set to "Ain't That a Kick in the Head," where like it would go into like these different rooms and show. I couldn't tell who they were supposed to be because it's a like, are they all Frank? Are some of them Dean? Are some of them Kennedy? Are some of them Peter Lawford? I don't know who I'm supposed to be watching having sex right now because the quality is bad and the lighting is bad, and it's just is not very clear.
hmm Anyway, only other note I had was I liked the scene when Frank sent Sammy spaghetti for breakfast.
Yes, that was poolside spaghetti, by the way.
Poolside breakfast spaghetti.
Poolside breakfast spaghetti and a lot of marinara sauce.
It honestly, thought it was there should have been more. It looked like there was not enough.
Yeah, but too much for a summer poolside spaghetti breakfast. Like
Maybe
if you're doing
we
breakfast
have different
spaghetti,
definitions of what's too much marinara.
that's fair. But if you're doing breakfast spaghetti, the only way that I can even imagine stomaching that is if it's like spaghetti and butter or like spaghetti and like not marinara is not what you put on your hypothetical breakfast spaghetti. I feel like too much marinara is gonna fuck you up that early in the morning.
I eat
It
meatball.
wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for a generic bowl of spaghetti, but for breakfast spaghetti, too much.
I eat meatball sandwiches for breakfast sometimes. We are not the same.
We are not the same, it seems. Fair enough. Okay, let me go down the Emmy nominations.
Please
This
do.
got 11-time Emmy nominee, 3-time Emmy winner.
Is that the most nominations we've done for a movie? Or
I'm pretty sure because like it gets a lot of like the technical Emmy nominations that I don't think would have
undeserved?
gone to like you know, cheerleader murdering mom or whatever.
Yeah.
So nominated for best or outstanding made for TV movie, loses to A Lesson Before Dying, which also stars Don Cheadle. Two nominations for supporting actor in a miniseries or movie for Cheadle and Mantegna. Loses to Peter O'Toole for the Joan of Arc miniseries with Lily Sobieski. Uh, Ray Liotta not nominated, by the way. Nominated for writing for a miniseries or movie, loses again to A Lesson Before Dying. Nominated for casting, single camera editing, hairstyling, makeup, and it wins for art direction, music direction, and sound mixing. Which, I mean, music direction, it has a leg up for having all these pre-existing Rat Pack songs that it
hmm
gets to pull from, but like the art direction's fine. It's not anything special aside from that big neon sign, but I don't think that is what it's winning an Emmy for. And sound mixing, again, it's the music, it's whatever, but 3-time Emmy winner, our most Emmy winning movie that we've covered
Yeah.
as well. Because to this point, I think
Murdering Mom just won two, right?
that
Or
sounds right.
or no, maybe hold on, I need to look it up.
Maybe even just one.
No,
I thought that
because it
maybe
won two for Beau Bridges and Holly Hunter at least.
Holly Hunter didn't win.
Didn't she? I picked it
Maybe.
because she won.
Oh no, you're totally right. What am I thinking?
Uh, bu- bu-
For
bu-
some reason,
bu-
I
yeah,
misremembered
it
that.
won three.
Oh, it was the Golden Globes where Beau Bridges won, but not her.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It for the Emmys, it won lead actress, supporting actor, and also writing.
Okay. And speaking of Golden Globes, by the way, Don Cheadle did win supporting actor in a series, miniseries, or movie in a tie with Gregory Peck for the Moby Dick miniseries. I think it was a two-part thing where he came back to play the guy at the very beginning. That's Orson Welles in the movie from the 50s. Peck came
Sure.
back for that to like the semi stunt casting. I think it's Patrick Stewart is
Yeah,
Ahab in
Patrick
that.
Stewart is the
Yeah.
Ahab in that one.
And Mantegna was also nominated there. Why did Joe Mantegna get an Emmy and Globe nomination for this nothing performance?
No clue. Because he's Joe Mantegna. People like him.
I guess, yeah, this was probably right around or a bit after he won the Tony. No, that would have been a while after. He won that in like the 80s.
What did he win a Tony for?
Glengarry Glen Ross. He was
Um,
the original Ricky Roma.
okay.
I think at the SAG Awards, Leota
Yes.
was nominated for lead actor, and was the only not like this, no Cheadle or anything somehow.
Yeah, absolutely
But
correct.
yeah, I mean that is what we have as far as like, and there was other stuff that I didn't write down from the IMDb page there, but
Oh, and the person Leota lost to at the SAG Awards was Christopher Reeve in Rear Window.
ooh, right. Yeah, who else? Anything else out of this cast? I think like Deborah Kara Unger is fine as Ava Gardner. Uh, uh, I,
The
I
actress who
mean,
played Maya was pretty good. Or
yeah,
Mai.
Megan Dodds, who I didn't recognize from anything else looking through her filmography, but she was on, I think, say CSI for a bit or
Mhm.
something. Uh,
Sure.
uh,
You got
maybe
Dan
not.
O'Hurley as Joseph Kennedy.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, again, the cast runs deep. William Peterson again, uh, director of uh, what are his directing? Why does IMDb not list
What?
director for
Why do you
him?
think William Peterson is the director?
No, I'm thinking who's the one who's who am I thinking of
Well,
then?
William Peterson's the guy from like Manhunter.
I'm okay. I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking Peter Berg, who was an actor
Yeah.
in the '90s and then went on to direct. Okay, I was getting confused there. I was conflating the two of them. Uh, no, William Peterson. He's not an especially convincing Kennedy, but he's here. He's
I
fine.
liked him at when
Yeah, it's a good performance, even like even though he's not especially John F. Kennedy like, he's still watchable when he shows up. Just the movie shouldn't have been nearly as much about him as it is.
yeah. It's not his fault.
It's not. It's always so funny looking at IMDb uncredited sections and seeing like, oh, this random actor, Fidel Castro as self archive footage. What are Fidel Castro's top four on IMDb? What are his known for? An actor in something called Arai, a documentary. It seems looking for Fidel, documentary or something. Cuba El Valor de una Utopia, and Cuando la Verdad Despierta. Okay, I guess Fidel Castro. Oh, those are. He has a additional crew, technical advisor on I Am Cuba. Okay, I
Awesome.
guess
Not
that. I mean,
bad.
that makes sense. That would have absolutely made sense, but funny that that is on Fidel Castro's IMDb page. Funny that he has such a robust IMDb page, by the way, that has a full like mini bio that like
Is
is longer than most regular actors you'll
is
find.
there trivia section on actors' pages?
There is usually. Let's see. Trivia. Yes. Okay.
I'm so curious
How
what's
many trivia points? Oh, there's a good handful. The top trivia on Fidel Castro's IMDb page. fluent in English, but refused to speak it anymore, even in public or private interviews, because he considered it to be, quote, the language of his enemies.
Good.
Rarely slept for more than 3 or 4 hours a day. Quit smoking cigars in 1986. Hobbies were fishing, hunting, and reading. Famous admirers include Ted Turner, Jack Nicholson, Danny Glover, Harry Belafonte, Steven Spielberg, Chevy Chase, Leonardo DiCaprio, Vanessa Redgrave.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Uh, his brother Raul Castro is next in line to rule if he were to die. Raul has ruled Cuba as regent since Castro became ill in July 2006. One, it hasn't been updated because he died like 10 years ago. Two, I like the phrasing of if he were to die, supposing that maybe Fidel Castro is immortal. We
He
don't know
might be.
yet.
Yeah, you don't know that.
We don't, at the time of writing, Fidel Castro hasn't died yet. So we don't know if he will. But if he does, his
But the
brother.
trivia was right that Raul Castro did take power.
Other trivia on his IMDb mentioned in Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." Oh fuck. Yeah,
This is
this
great.
rules. This is so good.
I'm so glad we did a Fidel Castro tangent in our Rat Pack episode.
Oh, well, he's in the movie, uncredited. Oh
As
boy.
hell.
Yeah. I'm looking through the trivia for this actual movie to see if there's anything.
I thought you'd already
Um
done that.
I had, but then I didn't write any of it down. Um Barbara Niven gained 20 pounds to play Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that lovely that that's how that goes? Ray Liotta was previously offered the role of Sinatra in the Sinatra miniseries from '92, but he turned that down. Oh, I don't think I'd put together, but Cheadle, a few years later, is in the Ocean's 11
I did
remake,
think of
which
that, which
I
is very
totally,
funny.
yeah, totally did not put that together. But that's a legitimate connection to put. That's not like a this actor was in a comic book movie. This other actor was in a different comic book movie. That's trivia.
Mhm.
This one is actual trivia. Okay.
Eh, No, here's my attempt at bad IMDb trivia. Okay. So Ray Liotta played a mobster in Goodfellas. Joe Mantegna played a mobster on The Simpsons.
Yeah. And one of his see, now I'm turning it into actual trivia. One of Fat Tony's lackeys on The Simpsons is directly modeled after what's his name from Goodfellas, the one that ends up in the meat truck.
I don't know.
I don't know. The guy with the curly hair who's
Oh, him. Yeah.
lips on The Simpsons, or tight lips or whatever his name is. Yeah, one of those Fat Tony uh lackeys is directly parodying that guy from Goodfellas for some reason.
Yeah. Anyway,
Uh,
I have a
anyway,
game.
yes, I was just about to transition us into that.
So first I wrote down every single Rat Pack movie taken from Wikipedia and excluding the ones that were like just cameos or like things like that.
Yeah,
Just I've got a list of all the movies. How many do I actually have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I have 15 movies here.
that's a lot of movies.
And so I have a few questions about these Rat Pack movies, and I want to see how many you can answer. Just see how well you know the Rat Pack cinema.
Let's find out.
So first, what two movies feature all five Rat Pack members?
Is it? No, well, it wouldn't be Robin and the Seven Hoods as mentioned because Peter Lawford uh, excised. So Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11. And the other one's pretty obscure, so I won't be surprised if you don't get it.
In that case, I do not know.
It is Ocean's 11 and Sergeant's 3, which
Wouldn't have known that.
no clue what Sergeant's 3 is. I think it's a Western. But
Sure.
anyway, question two. Which Rat Pack member is in the most Rat Pack films?
I'm gonna say Dean.
This was a bit of a easily trick question because it's a three-way tie for first place.
Okay,
Uh,
well then,
Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. each have 9 apiece, with Lawford being in 7 and Joey Bishop just being in 4. And
yeah.
then question 3. What was the first Rat Pack movie, meaning first one to have featured any two of them?
Oh, any two of them. I don't know.
I was hoping you would just say like Some Came Running or something, but which is the second one. But then a decade earlier was It Happened in Brooklyn, which happened to feature Sinatra and Lawford.
Huh.
Question four, what was the final Rat Pack movie?
Would that be Robin and the Seven Hoods?
No, it goes on much further than
Okay.
Robin and the Seven Hoods. Like there are one, two, three, four, five, six. There are seven movies on this list after Robin and the Seven Hoods.
Okay. In that case, a little educated guesswork. Robin and the 15 Hoods.
Nope.
Because seven later. They just made seven more of that.
I if only. But no, it's Cannonball Run 2, which features
Sure.
Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Dean Martin.
Well, there you go.
Uh, I'm surprised you didn't know that. I thought like
I th-
Cannonball Run was like a well-known thing.
in hindsight, that makes sense. I haven't seen any of the Cannonball Run movies, so I don't. Uh, again, I'm thinking too much of like Rat Pack movie means a movie marketed as with the Rat Pack and not has enough members of the. Yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I always view it as just any movie that has at least two of them.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm just in the wrong mindset.
Yeah. Final question. Wait, is this the final? Oh no, not the final question. This we're on question five right now.
Okay.
Uh, so you had already partially answered this question. So it's like after Frank Sinatra has his falling out with Peter Lawford, uh, which two movies was Lawford either written out or recast in?
So Robin and the Seven Hoods,
Yep, that one he was
and
just recast with Bing
yeah,
Crosby.
and I don't know if you've noticed at this point, I've only said the titles of like two or three or four movies because I
Yes.
only know three or four movies. Uh, so I don't know what this other one is going to be.
The other one is Four for Texas. It's a Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra movie, I think.
That would
Yeah,
make sense
the
on
two of
account of
them.
it's
And was also going to have Peter Lawford, but he got written out. It was also directed by Robert Aldrich, which I
sure.
think was after he had done Baby Jane.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Number six, two Rat Pack movies have been Oscar nominated. Can you name which two?
Some came running for
Hmm.
surely. And did Robin and the Seven Hoods get like a song nomination? I feel like I
Yes,
recall that. Yeah.
you are correct. It was the two movies you know,
And Ocean's 11 is the other one I know, but
but
I
that one did
didn't
not
think
get
that one
listed.
was.
But yeah, Some Came Running got five Oscar nominations. Robin and Seven Hoods got two, and neither of them won anything. And I will also say there were a few that, like, for example, Pepe features all five Rat Pack members, but it's all as cameos, so I don't include that. But that got like nine Oscar nominations, I think. And then
That
there's
sounds
like
right.
the Oscar, which has a couple of them featured, which got like one or two
A
nominations.
nomination for Edith Head's costume design. I know
Yes.
that.
And then there was Come Blow Your Horn, which is a Frank Sinatra movie that has one of them in it, one of the other ones in it. And one, I think it's Dean Martin as a cameo in that movie, and that
Sure.
got an Oscar nomination for production design, I believe,
Sure.
or art direction, I think it was called at the time. Anyway,
Same
anyway,
thing.
it's the same thing. Anyway, final question. Though I do not count Shirley MacLaine as a Rat Pack member, she does star in a movie with Sammy Davis Jr. What movie is it?
Is he in like What a Way to Go or something?
No, but it's around that time period. It's a 1960s movie.
Okay. Is it one I've definitely heard of?
It's one you've definitely heard of at the very least. Not sure if you've seen it. Probably haven't seen it, but it's one you
Um,
should know of. As a,
yeah, that
as a very
tracks.
high profile director.
Is he in like Irma la Douce?
No,
But is it a Billy Wilder?
it's not Billy Wilder.
Okay.
Later than that.
Later than that. So like late
Late
60s.
60s.
Um,
It's a musical also. If that helps.
I'm blanking. What is it?
Sweet Charity.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Didn't know he was in that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's just has like a supporting role, but he is in it. And so
There you go.
honorary uh Rat Pack movie, even though just has one of them, and all, but also Shirley MacLaine is sometimes counted as a Rat Pack member.
Yeah, I almost did a quiz for you on Brat Pack, Frat Pack,
I had considered that too,
Brit Pack. Uh,
but I would flop so hard on those. I don't know. I don't even know what the frat pack or Brit pack is.
Brit Pack is like Gary Oldman, Daniel Day Lewis, Tim Roth, David Thewlis. Frat Pack is like Will Ferrell, John C. Riley,
Oh, okay.
uh, like that era of like SNL dudes of like Chris Parnell,
Hmm.
uh, the like Anchorman and co.
Okay.
And there's, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of other spin-offs of that, of just like how many other things can we like make jokes about that are like sound enough like Rat Pack that we can like spin off further and further and further. But
Just call the Justice League the Bat Pack at this point.
yeah, or fucking Hat Pack, and it's guys that wear hats.
Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna catch on.
The Platt Pack, and it's just Oliver Platt and Ben Platt.
Well, Ben Platt has a whole family, though. Mark
No,
Platt and
but he's the only one that's allowed in. It's Oliver Platt and Ben Platt and avant-garde internet comedian Tim Platt.
don't know who that is.
He's on podcasts I listen to. He's very funny. Uh, what else could you do? You could do
The
the
Matt Pack, and it's all people named Matt.
yeah,
The Pat
yeah,
Pack, and it's all people named Pat, including the SNL character It's Pat.
yes. The the um the the
The Cat Pack, just
no,
bunch of fucking cats.
no, I fucking got shh, shh. Um, the the at pack and is people that are online as the at symbol.
That's
Oh,
what you
that one
should
actually,
be.
that one could that could be a thing. That that's a thing you could do. There's something there. That one's actually good.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
Not
is.
at
Shut
all.
up. Shut up. Anyway,
Cat
that's
Pack
this
is
episode.
better, bitch.
That's this episode. That's Televised, the TV movie story. We'll be back next week for a double dosage of William Peterson and some other guys. 11 of them, if you can even believe it. Like Ocean's 11, except not. It's 12 Angry Men.
It's a double dose of one guy and 11 guys.
Yep. Also, I think we shouted it out last week, but it hadn't come out yet because we forgot the timing of it. So this week, for real though, either the day before this comes out or the day of, he messaged me earlier. He wasn't totally sure about timing on it, but if you check out the podcast, whatever happened to Baby and I keep doing
Betty and
whatever
Joan.
happened to Betty and Joan, talking about late career Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. We were both on talking about some TV movie horror movies starring the two of them. It was a great time, really fun episode. That'll be out as you're listening to it. In some form or another. At some point, it will have been released. So go give that a listen. We had a great time, or at least I had a great time. I assume you did too.
I had a great time as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, go check that out. And yeah, that's the episode, baby.